So this is Run the Track, Size Radio, produced by Nike. Episode 1, Queer Representation in Dance Music. And this episode will seek to explore ways in which queer, female and female-identified artists have been represented in dance music. I'm your host, Mixtress, and we're joined by Gina Breeze and Bliss Mayo. So we're going to kick off. I just want to hear a little bit more about yourselves. Who are you? And just to share some of your personal experiences and journeys as a queer or female artist in the electronic music industry.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Gina Breeze, DJ and producer based now in Manchester, originally from Yorkshire. And my queer journey as an artist really began at Speed Queen in Leeds, which was a legendary house night that took me under its wing as a young not teenager, but I was over it. I was of age to be going there. But yeah, I was just blown away by the freedom and openness of this community and family, that chosen family that I met all those years ago, and they opened my eyes to amazing house music, and I made some friendships that have lasted a lifetime. And then I was also lucky enough to move to Manchester and meet Home Electric, my second queer family, which was a similar thing. They're all really like dysfunctional families that all come together for the love of this crazy nightlife that we are part of. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Bliss Mayo. I am producer and DJ. I'm one half of Dual Monitor, and I'm based in Liverpool, and I'm originally from London. And yeah, a bit of a different story, but I was born and raised in London, had two very gay friends, but we were all in the closet, but we all kind of knew deep down, and we'd go to different queer nights together, and it was a real blessing being in London and having so many different parties and different nights and different experiences to go to at quite a relatively young age, of course a legal age. And it was I was exposed to some amazing dance music from early on, and kind of the queer scene really helped shape my identity and the person I am now.
Are there any queer artists that you look up to or were inspired by in these I suppose these journeys that you've been through? Is there anyone that stands out to you?
So one for me is Hannah Holland. I'm a massive fan of everything that she does, and through kind of being into her music and researching the label she'd been on and stuff like that, I came across Get Up Recordings, who are based in New York, and they've released people like the Blessed Madonna and Honey Dijon, the Carrie Nation back in the day. And I sent them some of my music, and this is in like 2015, and they signed my first EP. So they're quite a small label, but it was just such a big deal for me at the time. And I continued to go and play for them and release music with them, and it just formed like a really nice friendship and working partnership. So
I love that. What about you, Bliss?
Yeah, so mine has to be LSDXOXO, who is from America, and I remember listening to his music from when I started getting into kind of more hardcore electronic music, and just being like blown away by the variety of music that he was making as well, which I mean he's massively into techno, but he can also do like Bailey funk as well, and a bit of everything. Yeah. Exactly. And he's just really inspired the music that I listen to and the things that I would like to make as well, because there's listening to someone who's a pro and has been doing it for ages, and then trying to emulate that is really hard. Who'd have thought? He inspires me massively.
I love that. I can just relate to you in terms of Honey Dijon, massive influence for me. From watching her play Pride many years ago, Manchester Pride, and just seeing that person on the stage taking up that space and what they represent, and the message that they hone about. Talk about the history of dance music. When they DJ, they're taking people on this journey, they're educating them. I always love that. That's always a poignant message that she puts across. How do you feel like these experiences have shaped your artistic expression and the themes in your music? Do you feel like that goes hand in hand?
Yeah, I think it does. For me, the New York influence has always been something that's ran through my music from getting a drum machine when I first started producing. So that like New York, Chicago, lots of toms and percussive rhythm. I think that's like the backbone of everything that I do. Not really intentionally, but it just kind of is who I am as an artist and who I'm inspired by.
You can definitely hear that in your music for sure.
Yeah, I've got to say there's a lot of very incredible artists that make the kind of left field electronic music. And again, going back to LSD XOXO and also I should mention Sophie as well, the way that they were able to both be so creative with vocal chops and makes things sound so high, almost like hyper pop, but with this intensity, with this drum line underneath it. And I think that's been hugely influential in the way that I make music, or the way that I like to listen to music or construct tracks as well. And it's kind of that randomness and bit of explosion as well that I definitely hear in their tracks. And I think it's like making relentless music that is quite powerful is something that's, you know, I absolutely love doing, and I've got to credit these artists.
Absolutely, we've always got to give people shout outs. We're going to move on now to like the queer history of dance music and modern day legacy and representation, contemporary representation. In your opinion, what is the importance of queerness in dance music and of dance music to queer culture? Just in terms of that exchange.
I mean, I keep mentioning this to everyone I meet, but dance music is queer, and I think that has been somewhat erased over time. People have kind of lost maybe the knowledge that most stems of electronic music have come from house and techno, and they have been queer house and techno, who have always pushed the boundaries and made things just more like inspiring and more modern at each step of the way. And again, another shout out to Sophie, the way that they've changed dance music as well, and even pop music, because that's how influential she was. But I think people often forget that when they're, you know, going to a bog standard garage night, and, you know, where did garage come from?
Exactly.
It's
like
and
the essence of things.
Exactly. And I think someone who's really pushed that onto to make sure that they don't like lose that identity is Todd Edwards. He's just a classic example, just someone who is queer and is garage UK and US. He's obviously from the US, but garage to his core, you know what I mean? And that is just something that I find amazing, and he's so respected in the community that is the gay community as well as the UK garage community. And I think having people like that are so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think we just have to remember the roots of everything. And like we mentioned before, people like the Blessed Madonna and Honey Dijon are flying the flag for everything that's past, that's gone in the past, and everything that's pushing forward in the future as well.
Absolutely. How do you feel these spaces in terms of like geographically, say the North scene, how do you feel that is I suppose, does it differ through scenes or the spaces that you occupy? How do you see that?
Well, I mean, I've really respected what people from Manchester are doing, and, you know, Pride is massive here. But where I live at the moment, Liverpool, Pride isn't so big, and there's been some incidents that have happened over the past few years that have probably made queer people really feel really unsafe. And so it's really sad to see a great city fall behind so many different cities. I mean, I've lived in Bristol and London, and, you know, visited Manchester many times, and it's crazy to see the difference between that. And I think especially if you then funnel it down to certain genres as well, which I also find it amazing that Liverpool is just known for having like quite classic tech house nights, but like techno, house, queer culture, like there's something that's being erased from that city. And I think having more queer spaces and queer nights where people feel safe as well, that's the most important thing. You can't just be putting on these nights and then expecting them to all go really well. So that's we're going to talk about like education. I think that's what Liverpool really lacks in at the moment. And yeah, spaces as well, is just having these techno kind of white male chin strokey guys who kind of think that they own the space, but they really don't.
Yeah, it's so sad to hear that's the situation in Liverpool. I feel like in Manchester we're really lucky to be a part of a lot of up and coming nights, as well as the well established ones like Home Electric.
Absolutely.
The venues like the White Hotel,
Partisan,
the DBA, just
amazing.
Like spaces that are popping up, and I feel like we're really pushing things forward in Manchester. Do you agree?
Absolutely, and I think if you're looking at the uprising of DIY spaces, a lot of people are doing their own parties, and it's really important for that support to them to be able to do that, but just taking that initiative to do it themselves. I love that, and I love being part of that and supporting that and playing those nights. And I think as well, just give a mention to Leeds as well, to Love Muscle, an amazing long-standing queer pumping doubts party, which I've been able to attend and play at. And I think, again, it's places like that that are really important. I think in terms of grassroots and business, how do you feel these are like interchangeable with each other or connected to each other? Because you've got bigger brands and then you've got the smaller clubs. How do they how do you feel like they can coexist in terms of the support for promoters or lack of, or how do you feel that looks in terms of Liverpool and Manchester?
I think for Manchester, I think there's a good balance of big events and more underground and DIY. I mean, we always want more underground events. That's like the heart and soul of everything that I do anyway. But the big events like the Warehouse Project, Homo Block, things like that, I think they are amazing to shine a light on local artists, but to almost as well bringing
opportunities.
Bringing the bigger artist and bringing the money to the city. And
absolutely,
it's not all bad. I know I'd always prefer to play to a small dark room with a red light, and
that's it.
Not just like a massive main room, but this is where we are, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I think it's good, and I think Homelbot's a prime example. Love playing that event, especially the Starring Garter, because it's the pub and it's amazing. And then you've got the bigger space in the main warehouse, but the amount of opportunities that creates every year.
For dancers as well, performers,
DJs, everything.
Thing.
And I think that needs to be commended as well for what it's created. What about you, Fliss?
Well, definitely I agree with that. I mean, I was scrolling through and I always look at the Homo Block and Homo Electric lineups every year, and I'm just irritatingly always away, but one day I'll get there. And I'm just blown away by the amount of artists that they get to come and play at a queer day party or a queer night party as well, that are actually also queer. And I think it really helps people realise that actually, like, there's loads of them out there. There's loads of queer artists out there, and also though queer fans can bring their friends who are also queer and kind of, or even questioning, or allies. And I think it's a great, the kind of bigger business side of things attracts a crowd that kind of can work towards the goal that is just complete safety, which is what of course what we're all aiming for. And I think going back into grassroots, I've had a huge privilege of playing for grassroots organisations, and got to shout out the Miscotech crew down in Bristol. They're just awesome people, and of course Big Dyke Energy, who kind of catered mostly towards queer women, and I think what they're doing is just incredible. The people that they book, and it's just so effortless that's what they're doing. It feels so inclusive, and again, they're not, they just know exactly what they want to do. Oh, so authentic, and I absolutely love them.
They're on a mission.
They're on a mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in what ways can the industry better address the intersectional challenges faced by artists? And how can brands help address this? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that brands have been doing a much better job, but I think, everyone notices that sometimes it's just a Pride Month effort as opposed to like an all year round support. And I mean, the interesting thing is that they've got so many resources. They've got all the connections. They've got links to different nightclubs and the people who can really ultimately make a change from the top down, because obviously the underground is bottom up. And with all these resources, like setting up initiatives, like helping women, run clubs and giving them kind of a almost that kind of scheme to help them understand management, etc. So it's kind of making sure that queer people and women have those opportunities that are given to them that are funded, because with big brands comes a little bit of money and that can go a long way, and it doesn't even cause a dent for them, but it causes so much of an explosion for people who really want to get into the scene.
Yeah, I think exactly like you said, just queer people, females to the front, and that goes from the top down. The more women we have higher up, just filters down the authenticity of everything, the diversity, and hopefully flows a little bit more naturally, I think.
And having queer people involved in the mix as well at the top, because I feel like it's also about the internal workings of something, isn't it? Not just on the fun pacing of that, I guess. Okay, so at the halfway point now, I think it's only right that we have a little bit of a musical interlude by yours truly, Gina Breeze. Can you tell me what we're going to expect from your mix?
Yeah, well, I tried to source as many artists from the Northwest as possible, which was quite difficult, but we got there. Spotlighting some new artists that I discovered. Sarah Bates from Manchester.
You know Sarah. Yeah. Amazing.
An amazing number for the beginning track. And Shauna from Liverpool, a couple of tracks of my own.
And I hear there's a special one in there of yours as well.
Yeah, out now on Nervous Records.
Woo!
Thanks for the plug there, Rebecca. But yeah, check it out. Here we go.
Let's go.
miss you, love. I have the best of times when we are together, baby. Please tell
Okay, so now we're going to look at safe spaces and the role that they play, especially queer safe spaces. Do we need spaces which are solely for queer dancers and performers?
I think we 100% do. I think as dancers have become more popular again in events, I feel like dancers are everywhere now, like Glitterbox, the discotheque, they're all incredible, but they need to be looked after and not looked at as like a token. And yeah, there has been instances that I've heard, like with Little Gay Brother, where they've pulled their events from festivals because they literally haven't been protected or been abused verbally, things like that. I think it's super important. Yeah, especially with these kind of more straight events that are putting on a queer corner and then just not looking after the queer artists, if that makes sense.
Of course, I think genuinely venues in general need to have a safeguarding policy for their performers, because you hear so many reports of people being not giving consent to be touched and things like that, and after a shift and things that have to be dealt with in that way. How about you, Fliss?
Yeah, I think, well, objectification comes, it becomes like a prevalent issue when it comes to introducing dancers into straighter spaces. I think there's a lack of understanding and respect for the significance and the importance of dancers, and not having that background knowledge of why it's important that they're there and what the etiquette is can really make or break a dancer's night, and lead to some horrifying outcomes as well. And I think that, I mean, going from places like if you're at like a Howl event in London or something, you know that the dancers are well protected. I hope they are. Obviously, that from what I see, they look well protected. And I think it's sometimes it also comes down to basic etiquette. Like, for me, it makes me really upset when I hear that these dancers aren't protected, because they're working, they're working. They probably 9 times out of 10 know the DJ or something. If they don't, then they go hand in hand with the whole performance, and you just wouldn't do that to someone who's working like behind the bar or something. And even that then still happens. So I think it's etiquette and understanding why dancers are so fundamental to like a night out or a queer space.
I play at a party called Riot Party, which is a Manchester and London based party. There's always performers there, particularly queer performers, and they work it so well in terms of the space and the safety in that space and the consent given in that space. And I think a lot more parties or collectives or venues and events, should really look into that. Do you think I think in the Northwest, in particular, if you go to any parties or play any parties, do you think that we could probably do things a bit better, or how do you feel about that?
I don't have that much to compare it to, but for example, Homo Block, the dancers, the amount of dancers that they have on there, the organisation that goes into it, and the extravaganza that they have on the stage at the end and on all the stages is just incredible. So much work goes into it, and it's just essential that the dancers feel as safe as the DJs and the people that are partying there as well.
Yeah, a lot of performers take that stage every November, and the management of it is so commendable as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. I think if they were to be introduced more into clubs that haven't been necessarily been like safe spaces for queer people, then I think it should be like mandatory that there are posters around the venue. There's posts before leading up to the event saying, by the way, there will be performers. Just don't be a dick, basically. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but just show some common courtesy to people
right.
who give so much to the scene. So, and also just don't take away their own, don't take away their night from them. Yeah,
it's that entitlement sometimes from punters. It's incredibly to watch it as well from afar as a DJ. I play at one venue in Manchester, and you can see the crowd and how they react, because I'm up in the gods in the booth. We can see how it plays out throughout the night and how much more alcohol people consume, and then how they react to the performers, and is that the way it does come up from a place of entitlement. So it's also about checking yourself as well if you're entering a space. Now we're going to move on to something a bit different in terms of mentors. Thinking about mentorship in the queer community and industry, have you had mentors, or have you ever acted as a mentor to somebody else?
One person I was going to say, I'm going back to Speed Queen again. Kaz Shaw is
Legend.
an amazing woman who started Speed Queen with Susie, and she gave me a chance DJing when I'd only just started out, really, and it came from just me chatting to her and being like, I've been DJing a bit. She's like, well, come down, love. Have a trial. So they were like setting up the club in Leeds, and while they were putting all the, the decorations up, I played a set, and then she was like, go on then, I'll take you on. But she kind of introduced me to this magical world of queer clubbing, and I can't thank her enough, really.
She's a G. She's so she's so supportive as well, and like what she did with Speed Queen and her crew and her team.
They're kind of like ahead of the time.
Yeah,
if
amazing.
you know what I mean.
Amazing space.
Sounds amazing. I wish I was there. Yeah, I think the people that I really look up to, I don't think they view me as like a mentee, but I kind of view them as mentors, and I definitely admire the work that they do as the Big Dyke Energy crew. And just by chance, I was playing on radio at Nudes Radio in Bristol, and I saw like the people that run it, and I just thought, oh my gosh, what are the chances? And so I just was kind of like umming and ahhing about whether I should go up and introduce myself, because I've always loved their events. They used to put on events at MOT, which I think is an exceptional place for queer events. And I just went up to them. And I just said, hi, I'm Fliss. I love your events. I know what you do. I love what you do. It's really inspirational. I love the people that you book. I love the crowds that you attract. And I just basically just said, please let me play for you, which in hindsight is quite cringe. But they were so lovely. And over in the summer, again, it's about just people taking a leap of faith and saying, hey, yeah, come play for us. And I was able to play for my first event. And actually that was like one of the happiest moments that I felt as a queer woman, playing for that exact scene. And I had a friend of mine, Princess Shishi, come up and MC for the set as well, which was just, I mean, it was so special. It was awesome. But yeah, so I really look up to them.
Sounds incredible.
It's really important when you have those people in your life. Also taking that courage to ask. You never know. And then when someone wants to, give you that space and that platform, sometimes I feel like people are just waiting for you to say, please, can I come?
Exactly.
And that's all you've got to do, and take that leap of faith, like you say. I think for my mentors, when I started Rebecca Never Becky, which is my events collective that focuses on cutie pop talent, I had a couple of people that I looked to that did events before me. One being Claude Cunningham, who did Black Angel, which was a lesbian night back in the 90s and the early 2000s in Manchester at the Green Room. Amazing what she did for the scene. And then I'd have to say Paul Darling, who helped me promote and do project management for events, because it's not easy doing it all yourself and starting out. So I think it's always good to give the shouts to those people that acted in that way for you, because when you start out, you don't really know how to navigate things. And I think it's always, like you say with Kaz, it's like remembering those legends that just said yes, and and I think if someone asked me, I'd happily do the same in return, being the journeys that we've been on. I'm going to take it into a direction in terms of fashion, image and identity, looking at brands. So do you see fashion or clothing as a vital expression, community and identity in the queer community? So how does what you kind of wear, does that have an impact on your image or the expression of who you are? Will you start, Gina?
Okay. I think absolutely. I just love queer fashion and fashion in general, and I love the flamboyance of the gay scene and all its colourful aspects, and then the darker side, like the Berlin-esque, not burlesque,
Aesthetic.
the darker, like gothy kind of side, because I feel like for me, I lead a bit of a double life in that I dress a bit of a geek, like kind of sportswear, but
Day to day.
day to day, and then by night it's more kind of like leather pants, crop tops, stuff like that, which is just evolving as I'm evolving as an artist.
I've seen a few
I
of
guess.
those outfits, and
Yeah.
they are like, oh look,
Thank
sure.
you.
Oh, I wish I had the confidence, but I dress like, quote from one of my friends, "You look like a teenage boy." And I think I rock up to the club with whatever I was wearing at midday, and I just but I want to look okay. Like I'll I won't say
You
that I
look good,
terrible.
you look good.
But this is what I would wear to the club. This is what I would genuinely play in. And I think it's because I've always wanted to be a little bit hidden. And I have, I don't love there being loads of lights on me. I just like it being quite like dark, and, it's all about just having 360 sound. But that said, I love looking at people who've come dressed up, and when I've played at the Big Dyke Energy, I just saw the most incredible outfits, and people were just wearing outrageous things. People were wearing nothing. People were wearing there was just such a vast array of ideas and designs and color, and it was amazing to look at. And there was me wearing, I think I was basically wearing almost identical this place. Maybe I did something a little bit extra and put I don't know, some cool sunglasses on, but I understand.
Just to push the bow out.
Just to push the boat out, But
Get a hat on.
Yeah, get a hat. I think I actually did wear a hat,
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more hidden. But I love the kind of mixture that you get, and I love especially that in the queer scene that you get. It's exactly you're saying, the more hedonistic.
But anything
style.
goes sometimes. That's why I love that expression.
Freedom, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Freedom.
Absolutely. And when you go to clubs or you play to playing clubs, I always like to make an effort always. And I think that's part of the whole ritual of being there and in being immersed in it all, but also being behind the decks and being able to do that from a different perspective. So definitely think there's something in it. And day to day, I will always drop a look. I don't care where I'm going, even if it's to the shop. I'm always going to be working at something, because it goes into the image and just how you want to express yourself. And I think you can do that massively through clothing. And in terms of brands, how can brands enact meaningful change, meaning that extends beyond queer washing? It's just for say Pride Month, or just for a certain amount of time. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it needs to extend longer than just Pride Month for a start. I guess it's just diversity, isn't it? And doing research and not just kind of ticking boxes, and being authentic with everything, and elevating, just a more diverse pool of people, really.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, it's just education, bringing it up in the workplace, always having that conversation. So it's not just we're going to do this over Pride Month and then that's it.
It's got to be all year round.
Exactly. Yeah, it's got to be all year round. And I think that is a super important part of having a diverse way of thinking, and especially accounting into the fact intersectionality is also equally as important. And I think brands can definitely just maintain a bit of momentum, because they have all the supplies and all the contacts and all the kind of links, and then why wouldn't you use it for good?
Absolutely. If you feel if you can, maybe you should.
Yeah,
there's remit for it. And I think it's also about the policies in terms of branding and companies, or who's actually in your recruit, how are you recruiting, who's in your workforce. So it's not just outwardly, it's in what's happening in the mechanisms within.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've just mentioned a really amazing word, intersectionality, which we're going to move swiftly onto. How do issues of intersectionality play a role in your experiences as queer or female artists? In what ways could the industry better address those challenges, in terms of keeping it inclusive, but also authentic? So keeping that authentic and genuine message. How do we kind of tackle that, or how could the industry tackle that?
I found it really interesting starting when I started getting a little bit more gigs, I was playing for quite a lot of garage nights, and the UK garage scene is a very cis white male scene, and it was quite different being rocking up to a club and there'd be like 20% women, maybe even less. And on top of that, it would be most of the DJs have been men, and then there's just me. And it was just probably a coincidence that I happened to play garage at the time, but I know quite a lot of women, especially black women, who've been asked to just play on this garage night, even though that's not really what they play.
It's been whitewashed in a lot of ways.
It has.
As a genre itself.
Definitely. And I think that's probably them thinking, right, we've got to, find a black woman on right now. And then they've just picked up a random name because they've heard her play on a radio show, and then they've just introduced her. And I know it happens. And I think when we talk about intersectionality, a huge aspect is race as well, because like black women and black queer women are marginalized. It's so hard to form an identity in such a white male straight scene, especially in the scene that I'm in, and it's just, we need to make massive change and
take up that space.
Exactly, take up space. And there's so much talent out there. There is so much talent.
And when they say they can't find somebody, I hate
my
hearing
gosh.
that as well.
Yeah,
Like it's ridiculous.
It's so lazy.
Like post-pandemic, the surge of DJs out there, you just have to do the research.
Just do the research.
There is
Exactly.
a
Like,
pool of people.
all they need to do is probably go on their local radio station, go through all the residents and be like, right, okay, that was easy. Like, now I'll listen to their mixes.
Yes.
And it's just,
It's
lazy. I
lazy.
think for them, it's like laziness, and it's like rocket science in their head. And it has to be perfect. And just, you've got to really put in the work if you're wanting to harbour a really positive music scene, and for it to actually be worthwhile and to have a bit of authenticity to it at the end of the day. Because there's so many event companies that you can't really differentiate from, because they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think, like we mentioned before as well, is just having women at the top is just going to help with this so much.
And it'll trickle down.
Yeah. In the bookings, and that influence is just something that's needed. Just that touch that is often misses the mark and feels not as genuine and not as authentic sometimes.
Absolutely. And how do you feel about the diversity quotas on festivals in terms of it being in artist contracts as well, and making sure that change is being fostered from within, I guess, in terms of the organisation or the curation of a lineup?
I feel like with diversity quotas, it's a good thing. However, it needs to be used in the right way. Like, is it equality or is it tokenism? And that's the big difference. And also, are these people being looked after, and are they being booked for the right reasons, not to just check a box? Like, I personally would never want to be booked just because a queer woman or something like that. You want to be booked because you're a sick DJ.
I completely agree. I completely agree with that. I think diversity quotas, I personally really like as an idea, but then there's a lot, you can like ideas, and then in theory, when they're used by certain people, it tarnishes what the actual initiative is trying to do. So yeah, it's all, I mean, I guess context is a massive thing, like who is wanting to promote diverse lineups, like, and I think it even coming from DJs is a really good start, because I know that Salute, for example, they've got a diversity quota and they uphold it every time, and it's amazing.
I know other DJs.
I think Sherelle as well.
Yeah.
Which is really admirable.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't have anything like that, but more of that, pushing in the right direction, surely.
I think it's really important to champion those people that are doing it, and then maybe more people will be on board as well. So that's where the genuine and authenticness comes to it.
I think it's good, like the size of artists that they are, that they can influence more. Whereas I'm probably not at that level yet where I could make that much of a difference. But
it's acknowledging your privilege of where you're at and how that can help others in that respect.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, the future of queer representation in dance music. who is the next generation, who's breaking through, who's on your radar, who have you discovered recently, or like just in general in terms of like what's happening now? Is there anything that is pinned that sticks out, or anyone that sticks out?
I was going to mention LSD-XOXO.
Yeah.
Just because,
Yeah.
you know, this kind of like gender bender, this new breed, I think is just so exciting. And yeah, when we did our mini mix, I did find a couple other people who I wasn't aware of, and we were saying it was disappointingly hard to find queer women in dance music.
From the Northwest.
From the Northwest.
Yeah.
We really struggled
kind
to
of just funneled into kind of almost like a really thin
Yeah.
nothingness almost. Which
I think
is,
there's a lot in London based.
Oh, so many.
so much, yeah.
But Northern, not so much, I guess.
yeah.
But I'm optimistic about it changing, because this is from more of a, I suppose, an event curation perspective, but it did involve artists. But I have to big up Withington Pride this year, because I played it, but it was run by about, they must know, not much older than 22, but they ran the event impeccably from multi-venue. The booking of the artists, they had a massive street party, and I was blown away. Just as playing, I played a set at the night at Withington Hall, which is a great space, and it just made me really hopeful for what's to come and what's happening, what's bubbling, and what people are doing themselves, but what they can do if they're given that platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's what infrastructures we have that we can support the artists or support
Yeah,
people.
I think I also, again, reiterating your point about having hope for the future, is I've managed to work with some really, really talented, very young women and people in the queer scene as well. And it's just such a breath of fresh air, and you just know that they're on a brilliant track and they are having so much fun as well. And also they're able to host parties in venues that really support them. I think there is a lot of hope for the future. And just going back to an artist that I'm really, really just, I've been admiring her work for such a long time, is Princess Shishi. She's a grime artist and she's just awesome. I've not heard anyone else do something like what she's been doing. And I was actually recommended to her by Lapsley, who's from Liverpool actually. And I've just been blown away ever since. It's just really, really kind of in your face. She's unapologetically her as well, which is what I absolutely love. And also kind of using grime in queer spaces is not, like, you wouldn't put two and two together, obviously, for many reasons. Like, but I think it's really cool to see someone kind of rewriting that script.
Yeah, and just like that, I suppose it's like ownership of the music, not ownership, but just playing the music that you know that can translate in spaces. And I think with the queer scene in general, if anything goes sometimes, and people are receptive. You just throw in a tune and you don't know it's going to blow up or go off, and that's what I love about that ever changing and welcomeness and openness of it all. Now, what one piece of advice would you give to an aspiring queer artist or female artist entering the electronic music industry?
Be unapologetically you is so cringe, but it is true. And just I would say meet like-minded people and just keep chatting to them. Go to different parties with them. Try and create a really nice friendship base that love electronic music, for example, if that's what you're into. And don't be afraid to ask people questions and ask people how to do things, and you'll find that people are actually really helpful. Yeah.
I would say be prepared for a few closed doors along the way.
That too.
The realism.
Don't be disheartened. No,
Yeah,
but you know,
true,
it
it's true.
takes years and years to become artists like I keep mentioning, the Blessed Madonna, Honey Dijon. These women have been doing this for so long, like mastering the craft, and I think you do have to put in the work, but it will be worth it. And I think exactly what you said, Fliss. I once met with like an agent, and he gave me a really good piece of advice, which was to be a part of something, and that really stuck with me. So it's like, when I met all the Home Electric lot and moved to Manchester, and then just kind of met friends from friends and like-minded individuals, and being part of something to bounce ideas off, just to be friends with, like you say, share a passion, and just enjoy it, rather than, definitely don't do it if you just want to be famous.
Wait, what?
I think it's definitely what he's honing in on, just finding your crew, finding people like-minded folk, finding people that you can work with, or like want to learn to DJ with, or
create with.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, people are out there, and like you say, don't be afraid to ask. That is the biggest, best piece of nugget advice, I would say. Okay, so that concludes Run the Track Size Radio, powered by Nike, hosted by Reform Radio, and this was episode 1, queer representation in dance music, and we are going to have a special mix to take us out by the one and only Fliss.
So it's a bass heavy, percussive mix from my favourite queer artists. Many have inspired me over the years, and there's some up and coming artists as well from Liverpool, and just some brilliant garage artists in there as well, who are also queer, small part of the garage scene, so big up them. And yeah, special shout out to Matica and Melodramatic. Thanks so much for making amazing music.
that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, woof a snip, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, woof a snip, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, woof a snip, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, woof a snip, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass, fat, repeat that, repeat that, the beat back, let me go whip it out, nice and fat, pump up the bass.